Everyone wants me to talk about sound selection in your music productions, and today I'm going to take care of that for you. What I want you to do, I'm just going to throw this as a thought experiment for you. I'm going to play the bass line and the kick from my song. Nothing else, just those. Here's the kick of the bass line. Okay, so that's my kick and my bass. How do you build your sound selection just from a kick and a bass? Well, my method, most of the time, is to start with, and this is again, most of the time, is to then go into the drums. I like to build drums from the bass. So here's what I came up with. I used a sample, and then I used multiple different one-shot samples. Okay, so this is the drums with the kick and the bass, all right? Now, why does it sound so kind of techie, you know what I mean? Why does it sound like that? Well, that's what I was getting from the bass line, right? And again, this is the bass line by itself, just so you guys, just so we're really clear. Very techie bass line. This is the one that started this song, right? So that was the bass line. When I added the other stuff, I was thinking, okay, what matches that bass line? That's as simple as it was. I found a bass line, I found a sound that I liked, and then I said, what matches that bass line? Okay, so we've got our sound selection. Drums, bass. That's almost all you need for a song, to be honest. Now, you can add very simple things to this. The simplest way I can describe adding more sounds to this is by saying, what is this right now? How can I aid or subtract from this? This isn't really accurate. I wouldn't say that this is like a well thought out, provocative fucking statement, but listen for a second. This sounds very harsh, very aggressive. So I wanted something that sounded a little bit softer. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up coming up with a couple of leads. One of them was a pad, one of them was a piano out of that pad, which is just playing the chords from the bass line, right? I'm playing the bass note, playing a couple notes higher, playing a couple notes higher than that. And that's your chord. Boom, problem solved. And then I do that for every single section. I think I have like 2 chords or something per half, and then I changed it up. And then anyways, here's what I came up with. Along with that, I also added a guitar, a soft guitar on top. That guitar, in fact. Check this out. Oh yeah, and the Vox. That was from Splice. Okay, so now that we have this, I'm just going to play you the whole thing. Now that we have this, it's simple, right? It's so simple. I know it seems crazy. I worked on this for hours before I ended up getting this amount of detail in here. Okay, and then once you have that, you can now add to or subtract from that loop in order to create a new section. Here's what I did in the next section. What's different? Well, I have a little bit more going on in the bass line. So the bass line is a little bit more like on point. So here's the bass now. Here's the bass now. Right on beat. Here's the old bass line. Right, so it's a little bit more busy in the bass line, but not by very much. It's not by very much. The kicks are a lot more busy because they are matching the bass line now. Right? And then you have the drums, which is where I made the biggest difference. The drums sound like this now. How simple is that? That's like 6 samples, if I'm not mistaken. I just threw that shit in there. That drum loop took me like 5 minutes to make. I already had the basics down from the bass line to the chords to the guitars. I just had all that shit already ready. So I was able to just add that in there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and play the same lead that we had. Right? Let's play it all together now. Okay, so what do we have here? We have 2 loops, right? Don't mind that. That's ear candy. I already went into that in another video. If you want to check that out, check out the other recent submission. I'm wearing the same goddamn shirt. Check out the other submission on my YouTube channel. This is awesome. I love YouTube. Okay. Yeah, so basically the concept here is you have 2 sections, right? One is more busy, one is less busy. How do you think I organize this? Well, one of them is the chorus, one of them is the verse. Yep, that's right. The verse is the less busy one because your verse is designed to tell the story. Your chorus is more busy because it's designed to be catchy, right? So, when I go back in time though, all I have to do now is break these up. So I copy and paste the verse, I copy and paste the chorus, and I'd have myself a full structure. Okay, so now that I have verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. Shit, I already skipped ahead. Verse, chorus. I haven't mentioned bridges yet. Chorus. I have the choruses and the verses. I spread them out like that, right? At one and then the other, one and then the other, one and then the other. Done. Okay, so I have that. Now what I do is I take the most interesting sound, I put it in the intro. Here's what the intro sounds like. Just the chords and the guitar. And there's a melody too, which you can barely hear. That kind of loading thing, those like weird sounds that you're hearing every so often, that is me using ear candy. I can go in depth more into that, but I also went into that into the other video, so check that one out. Now, you also need to add a bridge. A bridge is supposed to sound completely different from the rest of your song, okay? So I just walked you through in like fucking 5 minutes how to get a chorus, a verse. Shit is easy, I'm telling you. It's so simple. I walked you through how I did the sound selection from the basics. I said I've started with a bass line, then a kick, then some drums, then some pads, then some guitars, and a vox. That's it. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that, I am telling you, dude. Simplicity is key here. Okay, so you have your shit down. You got the layout of the song, right? You have verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. That's what I would write. That's what I meant to say earlier. What I'm going to do is I want you to delete the 3rd verse entirely. Delete it, okay? Or you could keep a section, but just delete the verse for now. What I want you to do is take one aspect of what you had, whatever your favorite sound was from the previous section, or maybe the easiest sound to work with from the previous sections. Take that, put it in this new section where that 3rd verse was. And now you have yourself the concept for a bridge. What I want you to do is take that interesting piece, whatever you took over from wherever else you took it, doesn't matter. If you put that into your bridge, I want you to take that sound and remix it. Add reverb, a new bass line, add a different sample, add a fucking lead. I don't care. It doesn't matter. And you only need 1 or 2 differences between the bridge and the chorus and the verses. 1 or 2 differences between the bridge and the rest. The bridge is designed to be different, to rehook the audience, pull them back in for that final chorus, okay? So just has to be a little bit different, just a little bit interesting. So what I did is I took my chords, I put them through a piano. Here's what it sounds like. Fucking beautiful, man. Just a piano. And what I ended up doing as well, there's a delay on it, and as well there's a lot of reverb. And what ends up happening is the reverb starts out here. It's a big old room, and then it's kind of getting like less and less reverb, and then you'll hear that the piano really starts to shine right about here. Less and less reverb, less and less delay. And then I bring that same piano. Now if you listen to this, we have the same piano in the chorus and the verse. Right? Okay, so now we have that final chorus. Leave that final chorus alone. I already talked about the differences between each section. It's fine. And then you add an outro. You're done. Your song's finished. That's your structure. That's your outline. That's your basics. Then you can go in and start adding things like ear candy, additional leads, fancy things, whatever it needs, add it in there. If it's too much already, don't add anything. You're good. Or remove stuff. Don't be afraid to kill your dart. Just delete shit. Delete shit left and right. It's not gonna hurt. Delete shit, test it, try it again. If that doesn't work, try it again. Try it again. That's your structure. That is the simplicity that you need. You just have to focus on what is easy and build it quickly. That's how you avoid burnout. That is how you get around every problem that you will ever have in production, is keep it fucking simple, bro. Selling this shit is simple. Talk to a camera. Fucking making money with this shit is simple. Sell it to people. Making it happen where you get listeners, meet with people who already have listeners, start posting shit on a Spotify, and then advertise that bitch. Speaking of which, you can check my shit out at bblake. You can check my artist profile, B Blake, on Spotify. And you can also check out my website, bookable.beats.com. Bookable Beats, that one is the business. This one is the artist name. The Blake one is the artist name, okay? Boom. Video done. Video 2.